So there are some presentation tips that I want to offer you or want to share with you today, okay? So I'm not sure how, a little bit surprised, right? I'm talking about something, completely, unrelated to bonds. So I'm not sure if you have noticed, right? I rarely exited the presentation if I want to switch from slides to slides, right? For example, now I'm at this slide, and just now I switched to my last slide of the presentation to check if there's any questions you have, and nothing going on here. And I switch back to the presentation slide that I'm at and I continue, right? Not sure if anyone was wondering how I was able to do that, but here's the tip that I can share with you. So the trick here actually is very easy, okay? And I hope really that you can use it when you do presentation in the future. The only thing you need to do is you need to know which slide you want to go to and which slide you want to come back to, okay? And that's the reason why for my presentations, I always have a slide number over here to remind myself where I am. So here is number 25. So what I was doing is that I go to the last slide of my presentation, PowerPoint file, to check if you got any questions. And this is number 31, right? This is slide number 31. And once I'm done, I simply press on the keyboard 5, enter, and it goes back to 25, okay? And suppose just like just now, I want you to look at the formula that I introduced earlier. And I remember that was either on slide number 3 or 4. What I was doing is just to press the number, okay, like 4 and enter. Here we go. Once I'm done, I want to continue my presentation. I press 5 and enter. Let's continue, okay? So I believe this would be particularly useful as you are doing a presentation, especially with some time limit, okay? So this goes to, this becomes my tip number 2 for the presentation. Because in reality, when you go to the job, sometimes you will need to present something to your clients or maybe your supervisor. And you were told that you need to do this in 10 minutes. You just have 10 minutes to present. But the shorter the time, the more difficult the presentation would be, because you really need to be selective and to think about what you need to do within this 10 minutes to make the information released, but also to be confined with this time limit. But also the dilemma here is that you really don't know sometimes what kind of questions people in the audience would ask you. So it's really hard to determine what to put on the slide. So here's my advice or tip, okay? What you may want to do is to prepare your presentation in 2 sections, okay? One is the presentation that you want to present to the audience, okay? You want to play to the audience. But followed by your main body of the presentation, you prepare a stack of so-called backup slides, okay? Let's say you have 10 minutes and you determine maybe 8 slides is enough for this 10 minutes. And the number 9 is thank you, or maybe questions, question mark. And number 10, starting from number 10, starts with your backup slides, okay? Now, for example, you may have some information you don't want to tell people unless you are asked about. You may have some details you don't have time to tell the audience unless you are being asked to tell. And when you do, you really want to have something to show them to back up with your argument. And that's the reason why you want to have some backup slides. And those slides are so-called only will be made available upon request. So let's say you are presenting and you are on slide number 3 and someone in the audience asks you a question. Hey, what is the breakdown of that sales number that you are telling us? Well, if this is a question that you could anticipate earlier, as I suggested, you can put this detailed information in slide number maybe 12. That's a backup slide. All you need to do is press 1 to enter, go to slide number 12 and show them the information, detailed information. Once you're done, go back to number 3 and continue with your presentation, right? So this can, first of all, make your audience have a better visual experience. Nobody will be willing to see you exit your presentation and go up and down, scroll things up and down, and to find out whatever information you need, and then present again. Once you're done, exit and go back. It doesn't feel really good. And more importantly, sometimes due to some reasons, you simply don't want to show 100% of the information to people. And at the same time, even though you may have some backup slides, you don't want people to be aware that you have a lot of more information there, because people may feel like, are you hiding something, right? Are you not presenting something that you plan to present? A lot of question marks unnecessarily may happen. And this can be all avoided if you can avoid exiting the presentation, letting people see all the slides that you may have. So that's the reason why I want to, just share this tip with you, okay, so that you can basically perhaps never exit your presentation, right, and to get the things done, okay? At least I think personally, this worked for me very well, okay? Of course, when I'm teaching, I don't have anything to hide from you, right? I don't have any backup slides. But when I was doing my, for example, research presentation, the paper can be very long, and I just got 10 minutes to present. I simply cannot put every single details in there, but once people ask me, it will be better that I have something to show them. So I always have some backup slides, okay? And those can be called upon request, right? Maybe another thing that I think would be worthwhile considering is that to make your presentation better and to make the whole process smoother, it will be beneficial for you to know some like hotkeys, okay, shortcuts in PowerPoint, okay, because especially when, for example, you are in a job interview where you need to do a presentation, but at a location that you're not very familiar with all the equipments there, okay? And sometimes, for example, you may have a sticky mouse. Sometimes the big screen is here, but you don't have a screen in front of you. And when you want to use the mouse, you would have to turn around and to see where the mouse is going. So that will make some hotkeys very handy if you know it, okay? Now, just to show you some examples. For example, one very useful hotkey to remember is F5, okay? So this key can immediately start your presentation without using your mouse. You just press F5, the presentation will start from number 1 page, okay? Or alternatively, if you want to start a presentation from a certain page, for example, this is page number 10, I want to start from here. Of course, you can use your mouse and to move it to here and click it to start. But if you simply use Shift F5, it will start from the page that you are in, okay? Another tip, for example, I'm not sure if you are noticing that I'm actually using the laser point feature to point out things, okay? Because using this technology, I simply cannot use the traditional laser point to point out the big screen in the classroom because the online people cannot see. But actually, there's a shortcut in PowerPoint to enable this feature very quickly. And this is Control L, okay? But I cannot use it here because it actually conflicts with one of the hotkeys in WebEx. If I press Control L, WebEx will think that I want to leave the meeting, okay? I don't want to do that. But if you are not doing a WebEx, simply press Control L, stands for laser point, it will start with this. Or Control P, it will start with a pen, okay, in the PowerPoint that you can, for example, you can write, okay? Something look like this, all right? Okay, so a lot of things unrelated, but hopefully that you find some of those tips useful, okay, and try it out next time you do a presentation. I'm sure it could make some difference, okay, especially when you are in the job. Many times, it's all about those little details that make you stand out at least a little bit, okay?